We'll stay with the Zamfara kidnapping now, and to have more perspective on this latest abduction of these students, we're now joined on News Track by the Managing Director of Beacon Consulting and a security and risk intelligence analyst, Dr. Kabiru Adamu. Thank you for joining us on News Track.
Thank you. Good afternoon, or good evening, rather.
A very good day to you as well. And obviously, our concern, our sympathy is with the people and the government of Zamfara State on this incredibly unfortunate incident. And it's another abduction of schoolgirls coming on the heels of the Niger State abduction. How did you take this news when it first broke?
When I heard it this morning around 6 a.m., I was dumbfounded, frankly, mainly because when the Kagara incident happened, I was of the opinion that it should not have happened. All the telltale signs that there are schools vulnerable in these locations where banditry is at a very high rate and where kidnap for ransom is occurring. And so everything in terms of advice, recommendations have been put forward. And it is frankly inconceivable that, those that are responsible for the protection and safeguarding of these kids allowed that to happen. There is no explanation, no justification for allowing kids in such numbers to be abducted.
Yes, Dr. Adamu, you did say just now, no justification. Why is it difficult to prevent or intercept such operations, knowing that those areas are prone to such attacks? Why do you think this is happening in this manner?
I think it's really about the will of those that have the responsibility for ensuring protection of these schools. This is not the first time that schools have been attacked in that particular state in Zamfara. And then it's not the first time that neighboring states have also witnessed this type of attack. We recall that I think 2 or 3 years ago, Kotarkwashi in Zamfara, another female school was attacked, and the students from that school, as well as their teachers, were abducted, if I remember well, around 8 of them. So all the antecedents, all the indicators that schools are being targeted, are vulnerable, were there. Immediately after the Kankara occurrence, the governor ordered the closure of certain schools. So why was this one not affected? Why was it left open? It's like I said, it's inconceivable. The aspects that require implementation of better security measures have been discussed. We've talked about it, but more importantly, all the modus operandi for the last 3 incidents is the same. They would attack at night. They would take these people into the forest, and then a negotiation will commence. I mean, this is not the kind of things we'll be discussing at this point in time. It's not, frankly, there's no, like I said, no justification, no explanation for allowing these things to happen. And more importantly, just like it happened under Kankara and Kagara, we need to see accountability. Whoever should have implemented this security measure and did it should be held accountable.
Okay, Dr. Adamu, let's talk about intelligence gathering for a moment. We know that this precedes, it should precede cases such as these where these sorts of incidents could occur, and we have competence. We want to believe that we have competent security agencies who would naturally have, hopefully have had some intelligence to prevent this attack. Why do you think this has not been working?
So intelligence is usually a function of the requirement of the receiver. If government, for instance, task the intelligence agencies to focus their attention, for instance, of movement in the forest, then they will focus their attention. Just before this interview, what occurred to me is, how is it possible that persons on bikes, probably 100 bikes or 50 bikes, let me even give the most conservative estimate, moving in 50 bikes at 1 a.m. in the morning, and we had no form of information or intelligence about it. So it's not that the intelligence is not there to be harvested. It's just that, unfortunately, perhaps the priority, the attention of the intelligence organization is not to harvest this type of intelligence. And that brings me to the revised National Security Strategy 2019. We were promised that the focus of security will now be the Nigerian, the average person in the village. Now, if that is the case, then the Security and Intelligence Department should focus in the villages, and this type of activities would never go unheeded. There is no way that 50 to 100 bikes will be moving and then information will not be available. I mean, even using technical intelligence, what we call TechInt, if you put surveillance with satellites from wherever it is in the world, you'll be able to see 50 to 100 bikes moving in an isolated location like Nengebi.
Your expertise is very apt in this matter. Thank you so much, Dr. Kabiru Adamu. He's the Managing Director of Beacon Consulting and a security and risk intelligence expert. We hope that this is the last we'll hear of these sorts of kidnappings, especially of children.
We hope so too. Thank you and stay safe.